and a very good afternoon, or is it evening?
Evening.
It's
evening.
8 p.m. We are live at Facebook Conscious World Agents. My name is Claudia van Zuiden.
My name is Arturo Mazzaro.
And together we founded Conscious World Agents, and every week we are live and we have a topic, and this week the topic is truth.
Your inner truth, the truth, what's it?
What does it mean? So that's where we love to have these conversations, and we just like to share our post with you, and we like to share our views on the topic, and we are actually more keen to find out what your views and what your thoughts and insights are on the topics that we are sharing with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we...
Is there something new that we need to... is there news that we need to share or not?
No. I just heard some very good news, but just before we went live, and a minute is very long, so I said I would call back. So yes, so here we are, and the topic being truth. I would like to start with my post, and if whilst I'm talking you come up with your own ideas about truth, what does it mean for you? Have you ever experienced moments when you really felt your truth? Then please write it in the comments. Then, we also would like to know how that was for you, and perhaps your insight and wisdom around that. So my topic was basically about the level of consciousness. And when we have a certain level of consciousness, we are more perceptive, we become more open to certain truths, and you could call it universal truths, or spiritual truths, or your own inner truths, anything that is sort of on that line of truth. And a few weeks ago I came out of a meditation, and I had a very strong insight about truth, and that was really when I was in a deep meditation. I could sense the essence of truth, and the essence of truth is clarity and connection, heartfelt connection with consciousness. And then I talk about the universal consciousness, and in my post I spoke about universal consciousness, but then I don't mean the consciousness that is shared on the globe by everyone like now, but it's more the divine consciousness, the universal consciousness. And so that is, I wouldn't say it's a higher level, it's a less dense level. And that feeling, when you tap into that feeling, you start to experience that with your body and your mind, and something starts to expand. And I feel when I am in deep meditation, and I feel there's something expanding inside me, just by following my breath first, just getting a focus first, and then something happens. There is something like an alchemy happening in my own body, and that helps to get some clarity around certain things. And that is something I feel we all have the capacity for, and the wisdom that we are seeking for is here in that moment, that we can find that in those moments. So if you are sometimes perhaps looking for some answers, or the next steps to take in your life, when we really go into that space, we will find the truth, what is the best for us in certain moments, or the truth about how to go about with things, or the truth about how we view things in the world, or things like that. It could be insights, it could be new perceptives, and things like that, or intuition. And I really find when I am in the deep meditation, the truth becomes more expansive as well, and it's not material-like. It's like, and it's temporal. It just happens in that moment, and it's funny because they make huge impacts in my life, and it felt that it's important to share with you that you also have that capacity, like I have. I don't know that I have that, but there is an inner knowing that guides me towards having that experience. So once we experience that in any particular situation, we can look for our inner truth, and it just goes when we go within. It just starts to happen like that. So how do we do that? Well, I find very helpful, and what I wrote in the experiment also, to go into a meditation that focuses on my third eye. And when I focus on the third eye, there is an activation, it appears to be, of the pineal gland. And when the pineal gland is activated, this helps us to get clearer insight, to develop the consciousness into a more spiritual, more intuitive, more perceptive level of consciousness. So just by focusing on the third eye, it really helps me to get to that space. And doing that about 10 minutes every day really develops that even more. And that's what I find. Ever since I started to do that, it helped me really, really very, very often in finding some clarity around certain topics, certain issues in my life, certain questions that I had. And I just, felt that could be something to be shared with you. So if you have any own experiences or own methods that might help to expand that level of consciousness, then please share that also with us, and let us know how you manage that. But I really find that experiment, what I shared with you in the post this week, is really helpful, just to activate that pineal gland. And what it does, it prepares a sort of a ground, a more solid ground for that information, that higher consciousness to land on, and to have a probably big impact on your life. And that's been really profound for me for the last few weeks. So I really hope that will benefit you too. And
Nice, beautiful. You say that everybody has this capacity.
Yeah.
How do I recognize that? How do I tap into that capacity?
Well, I suppose by doing the practice like I explained, like going into meditation, breathing, and so forth. And just by activating that and making the connection with your body and your mind, this can really help to open a door. And nothing might happen. I've been meditating since I was 15 years old, so that's about 40 years on. Yeah. But still, sometimes you get those glimpses, and what happens then? There is this sense of bliss experience. And in that moment of great joy and bliss experience, something can come up. And like you often say, it could be one word, or it is something very, very simple often, but can be very profound. Yeah. So just by meditating, focusing on the third eye, the space between your eyebrows, just in the back of the skull, just by watching that consciously with awareness, and every time when you feel the mind wanders off, to bring it back to that place. It is a process. Yeah. So it depends if if the third eye is open or not. And once that starts to happen, then we have this ground for the higher consciousness to come in. So I just want to say also hi to everybody who's watching. It's lovely that you're here. Thank you. So any questions around that that you have, please do ask. Yeah. I have a little knowledge around these topics due to my training in the yoga, and I've just taken that a little bit further with Kriya yoga. And I have a wonderful yoga teacher, Swami Samapananda from Saraswati from India, who is always there if I have questions. So to answer. So if you have any questions around that, I can always ask him for advice and counsel if I don't have the answer for you. So that's it. Thank you. So what about your pose? Let's go to your pose. Because I just had this news and I'm still a little bit excited.
I can see it. Yeah. My pose. Well, it was about truth.
Speaking your truth.
What I notice, and also within myself, it's not that I'm a saint and everything is going well in my life, But sometimes we think we tell the truth, and then we stay in that truth, and then we try to convince the other person. And maybe even we raise our voice and say, no, it's this way. But most of the times, it has nothing to do with the truth. It has to do with your truth. It has to do with your perception of life, or the situation, or the person. And what's running there is, most of the times, it's the automatic program, your conditioning, your belief system. So your subconscious mind doesn't want to change. It doesn't want to put any energy in time or thinking. It just wants the program. And the subconscious mind has some important things, and one of the things is that it wants to be right. Because if it's not right now, then it needs to think, and that costs energy and time. That's not what it wants. So it wants to be right, and it wants to be right now. It doesn't have any patience. It's not thinking in long term, no, it's thinking in short term. And what you see is that if you are trying to convince other people from your own truth, understand then that it's by far most of the times, it's your truth. Because the truth doesn't have to convince other people.
Nice.
Well, how can you escape from that automatic program? There's a simple way, and what we basically want in all these kind of things is that we want to feel free. We want freedom. At least that's how I see it. You can start with one thing that you're already doing from the moment you came into on this planet, in this life, and you will do until you physically die, and that's your breathing. And now, even now, you can just sit, take a deep breath, and then only focusing and pay attention on your breathing, on your breath. And you don't have to do any exercise for that. Just focus on it and see what's happening. Is it going fast or slow? Are you breathing high here in the chest, or more lower in the belly, or really low in the belly? Do you breathe? Is your breath, your exhale, is that longer than your inhale or not? Just observe it. Just pay attention to it. And what do you notice then? Is probably, and maybe you can write it in the chat right now, you feel relaxed. You're in the here and now. And all these issues that you had are not here in this moment. You feel the freedom, you feel the relief. And once that's there, the truth, your own inner truth, can come out. And it's not the automatic program that's coming out then, but that's the one, that's the connection, the alignment that you have then with your inner truth, your higher self. You can call it as you want it. And from this place, you don't have to convince any other person. You know it's your truth, and that's it. And you can say it without any force, without any attachment. And if the other person doesn't see it like you do, it's okay. It's okay. So, your breath is probably one of your most important instruments, because it helps you to keep alive on this planet, but it also can help you to change the energy where you're in. And prana. That a lot of people think that prana has to do with only energy, but basically the Sanskrit word of the translation of prana means breath. But of course it's also energy. But breath is energy, and that's your strongest energy that you can have, and you always have it already here.
Yeah.
So take your time for this. It only costs you 10 seconds. And you can get rid of that automatic program that's running. And you can feel. And I think if you do this, you said something about clarity, I think. Is that correct? Yeah, and I think that this is also helping to clear the sky from all the clouds that are there. Gives you clarity.
Yeah.
And once there's clarity, you can see it. You can see it as it is. And of course we all have our own perception, we all have how we perceive things. But you can let go even if you take a deeper breath then.
Yes, and what is truth? Huh?
What is truth? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is.
Yeah.
No?
Yes, so I really, when you said also about clarity, when you are really relaxed, when the body really prepares itself for that, and there is this expansion of the heart, and you make that connection, heart to heart connection with the divine universe, then there is this openness, this, and somehow, like all the universal laws are there, this seems to be the key to open up this truth to come through.
Yeah.
And that can give a lot of clarity, and then like you say, you don't have to prove you're right, or it's just this, it's making connection rather than disconnection.
Yeah, and you're also open for the perception of the other person.
Yeah.
Much more open. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not the fighting anymore.
No. I love that, and we'll get back on that later as well. But for example, when we do the 16 guidelines, and then we pick one of the guidelines, like the one maybe we're going to do next week.
Yeah.
And
Patience.
and then we ask the people, the participants, what does patience mean to you?
Yeah.
After they've done a certain meditation that we do, and then it gives a different word or a different meaning. To so many people, but there's still this line, this connection, this red thread through it. But there is the truth. What is the truth? So can you ever define something so specific? But together, that gives a whole new perspective, maybe that you've ever had before. So to be open all the time and connected, I think that is really beneficial in that as well. So yeah, I loved your post this week. So,
Ratna.
right.
Wrote something. She said, "Beautiful, Claudia. I just finished a chanting session with Krishna Das.
Nice.
The repetition of the divine and frequency of the music opens your heart and increases the meditation. Blissful, painful, beautifully overwhelming, but lots of cleaning to get to my truth. Loving yourself, so part of the universe."
Yes. Yes, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, Ratna, thank you. You're certainly on some journey, lady. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I think that's really so truthful. And there is something beautiful in that as well, because when we start to work with the pineal gland, like when you're doing the chanting, that is changing the wave in your brain as well, which will affect your pineal gland, which will help you to activate it, to activate your third eye. And especially when you use these sacred chants, for example, Om or certain other mantras, and they really activate that. And they're some of the oldest sounds of the universe. So when we start to connect with that, we go into the consciousness of that sound, it affects our brain. And we always say, don't believe it, just try it. Just try it and see what happens for yourself with this openness. So I can understand where you're at in your journey, how the chanting will have helped you with that. So that's absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you probably also notice, not only for you, Ratna, but if other people also done this, how important sound is and the frequency, how it can help you to raise your own level of consciousness. And basically, if you go back to the beginning of everything that's now here in this universe, go back, Klitepe. No. It all started with a sound. That's what they say. I was not there, but it starts with the sound.
Yeah, a lot of things starts with sound.
So especially in the Western world, we forgot this. We like the music and it's nice, but remember the moments that even if it's the normal music that we hear on the radio, there were moments that you were totally free. That it didn't matter who was looking, where you were totally free.
Yeah.
And that was the one that was resonating with you. And of course we make then, nice text, nice rhythm and so on. No, it's something that was resonating with you at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I love that. Yeah, I love that. I even remember when I was in Nepal and people spoke about what the earthquake, when they were afraid, and like the children, because they could hear the sound first, and how you could reverse that sort of danger of that feeling that they had afterwards with a counter sound, like a medicine almost. And they do that a lot with the chanting and so forth. So that was really beautiful.
Well, there's a lot to tell about sound.
Yes,
also.
maybe we could do a topic around that sometime.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, this was what we want to share with you about truth.
Yeah,
truth in general. What, we wrote about something about that. We talk now. The next topic, the topic for next week, and we already shared it with you. And I hope you had patience, but it is patience. How can patience help you to raise your level of consciousness? How can it help you in your daily life? And it doesn't matter if it's in work, private, or any other relationship. What can patience do for you?
Yeah, the power of patience.
The power of patience. Pop.
I like it. Pop music.
Pop, pop, pop music.
So that will be the topic for next week. And then we also have to share with you that for after next week, we will have 2 weeks no Facebook Live.
No.
It looks like it.
Yeah. At least
1 week, because we have a little break as well. So just to let you know that, but we will put that also on our social media, so you'll know when we're not here. So please don't sit in front of your phone waiting for us.
Crying, where are they?
No. So just to let you know that. And then we also we want to say a little bit more about the 4-leaf clover program that will start on the 18th of September, and we would love you to read a little bit about that, because we have made a special offer this year, and it's very worth knowing that next year will be 2,108 euros for the year program, but this year only we'll do it at 1,108 euros per person for the whole year program, and you get so much for that. So exclusive VAT. Yeah. So just to let you know that, and if you would like to be there, then please sign up, because we are getting a lot. We don't want to take too many people on for that, because we also want to make it quite individual. So if it feels that you want to be there, look at our website at consciousworldagents.com and then click on 4-leaf program, 4-leaf clover program, and go into it a bit and feel it out. Ask your heart, is this what I really need for my next step in my life? You're not watching for nothing, us here, and we're all connected, so perhaps that's just what you need, just to look at that page and to say, yeah, that's exactly what I've been guided maybe towards to do. So And we would love and to be we would be really honored to work with you and share what we also have experienced and what we have learned by others and through our own experience with you. So
yes, and what we also had this week was a person who was really interested but wanted to have a small talk with us about that. That's also possible. So let us know if you still want to discuss a certain topic or you have any questions. Let us know. We're definitely willing to have this conversation with you.
And also, just in brief, that we will meet 4 weekends in 1 year, and then every month between the meetings, we'll have one Zoom call with all the participants. You'll have a buddy who will support you in your journey. And what else do we have with that? Forget
the
something.
workbook.
Yeah, the workbook, which is inclusive, and we'll talk over that as well. But you have every month we will be connecting. So really, all the months through the year, we are connecting with each other and supporting each other through the journey.
Yeah, and the reason is because a lot of people, they are starting something, and at certain moments they think they are alone.
Yeah.
And even when you do a year program, there will be a moment that something is not going as you want it.
Yeah.
And then maybe the energy or the motivation drops a little bit.
Yeah.
And at these moments, it's so important that there is a buddy, there are 2 facilitators. You can always reach out to us via mail once you're in the group.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to do it alone.
Yes.
You need to do it yourself, but you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah. The time of the lone wolf is over, as we say. So you'll find your buddy who will support you in that journey. Could be a bear, could be anything. Could be anything. Any case, but that's really what we feel we want to share with you, and we hope you will have a great weekend. We'd love to see you next week when we discuss the topic of patience. Is there anything else we need to know? We hope you enjoyed being with us today. We certainly love it when you're here. And if there's any other questions or anything we've missed, then please also let us know. And we look forward to seeing you next week and wish you a wonderful weekend. Yeah, you want to say something still? Or have I missed something?
No?
No. Okay, great. Yeah. All right. Lots of love, everyone, and looking forward to see you again. Bye-bye.